What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NFL Turf Talk. As you can see, I am riding solo today. Dylan won't be joining us. It's the big birthday weekend, so he uh, he had a little too much fun yesterday. Let's just put it that way. But I do appreciate each and every one of you that are tuned in already. I see D-Rab in the comments already here. Terry in the comments, of course. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. I'm excited to be here with you guys. Couldn't let this day go by without getting the show in on the big game. Obviously, you see my background if you never tuned in before. I'm a big Philly fan, but my team's not in it this year. We're still here. We're still going to talk about it and get ready for the big game. I just want to throw this out here at the forefront. I want to throw this out here at the forefront before we get started. Let me take a sip of beer because I feel really strongly about what I'm about to say. With the lime, very good. Please don't be a boring game. Please don't let this be a boring game. I don't think it will be. We'll get into predictions, stuff like that later towards the end of the show. But please give us some points, give us some entertainment. And I say that, I lead the show off saying that because these are two excellent, elite, great defenses. You got the Patriots led by their head coach, Mike Vrabel. On the other side, you got McDonald leading the way from the head coaching spot as well with his defensive philosophies. So both of these head coaches are defensive oriented. Both of these teams have heavily relied on their defense to get to this point. But we do have some pretty good quarterbacks here at play. We got some pretty good quarterbacks matching up today. And so let's have these guys step up. Let's have some points today. Not to shit on the defenses. The defenses can make some plays. Maybe they get some points on the board themselves today. But I do want to see some scoring. Just wanted to lead that off here. We got to go Patriots from the Madre in the comments. Thought you were an Eagles fan, but whatever. That's for another day. I know you're on the Drake Maye train right now, which yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. He's a second-year quarterback. He's played excellent this year. He's been in the MVP conversation for a reason. But obviously, there's been a lot of talk about that schedule, about that division, about who they played this season. The fact is, he's gone through the Denver defense, he's gone through the Houston defense, and he's been able to come out of it with W's. So the Patriots do know how to win football games. Drake Maye knows how to win football games. We're going to see what they got today. But let's set the scene here. Before we do that, I am going to just make sure I get this shared out on Twitter just because I am by myself today. Just want to make sure everybody has access where they need to. And if you are watching over on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days, be sure to head over to the YouTube channel. I just posted a reply to the X stream. Includes the link to the YouTube channel. We're trying to grow over on YouTube and get established there. So if you can help us out, head over to the YouTube channel and subscribe there. Really appreciate each and every one of you tuning in nonetheless. And if you want to hang out on the X channel, feel free. I'm not your boss. You can do whatever the hell you want at the end of the day. So happy Super Bowl Sunday once again. I don't even think I've announced myself. You guys should know me by now, but I am Scotty. I go by Scotty Drowned on social media if you want to follow me there. Let's look at the scene here, right? We got the 14-3 NFC West winning Seattle Seahawks. Some say NFC West, the class of classes, right? The class of class in the NFL this season. You look at the Rams, you look at the Niners, and then obviously the Seahawks who have come out on top. On the other side, we have another 14-3 team, a team that was able to beat out the Buffalo Bills in the AFC East for that division title. Now, surely they didn't get as much praise for maybe what they had to go to get here. But once again, we do not take points away for simply winning at the end of the day. The Patriots are here. They're here for a reason. So you look at this matchup. What's the spread look like when it's two 14-3 teams matching up in the biggest game of the season? Comes out Seattle. This was from the jump. I saw 4.5 points. Looks like that line has kind of maintained itself, stayed consistent. I imagine that means the money is going both ways in a sense. Some money going in on Patriots, some going in on the Seahawks. the books, they're speaking to what one of the main narratives are going into this big game, and that is the Seahawks simply being a more tested, a more versatile, a more balanced football team ultimately than the New England Patriots. And I'll take it a step further. I do think it is because of the way these teams have played throughout the playoffs. I think you look over on Seattle's side, you have Sam Darnold, who everybody, well, I shouldn't say everybody. On this show, everybody had Sam Darnold going against the LA Rams and ultimately coughing that game up somehow, whether it's turning the ball over via interceptions, fumbling the football, making bad decisions, whatever the case may be. I expected Sam Darnold to self-implode against the LA Rams because that is what he has done the last few times he's played the Rams. Now, obviously, you come out of that game and Sam Darnold, I don't know about you guys, he showed me something in that game. He made me a believer that, yeah, maybe this guy isn't that guy that panics under pressure. Maybe he doesn't have that. Let me throw a shot at Cowboys fans real quick. Maybe he doesn't have that Tony Romo effect, that Dak Prescott characteristic of, blowing the big games, because he was able to go into that game against the LA Rams and he was able to win a shootout versus Matthew Stafford, the NFL MVP this season, right? And he was able to come out on top in that matchup. But I do look over on the other side. You got Drake Maye, who was also in that MVP conversation for a reason. Now, the big thing with Drake Maye, second year in the NFL, and he's already playing at that level. He's already got his team to the big game in his second season. I think that's a pretty big accomplishment. I was reading he's the second youngest QB to ever start a Super Bowl. And obviously, if you guys didn't know by now, he led the league in passing yards this season. So first big question that I'll throw out there to you guys. I do want to see what you guys think in the comments. So please share, get involved there. Which quarterback would this be a bigger win for? On one side, you got your resurrection, if you want to call it that, or I've seen Renaissance. I've seen a couple different names for Sam Darnold and his career path. He had the great season in Minnesota last year, went to the playoffs, blew the big game against the Rams in the playoffs, had a horrible game, right? Turned the ball over, so on and so forth. Goes to the Seahawks next year, replaces Geno Smith, and all of a sudden this team is in the Super Bowl. They've been able to get through the NFC West. They were able to beat two NFC West opponents in the playoffs, two teams that know them the best. This would be a pretty big bounce back, whatever you want to call this, for Sam Darnold. And he is the favorite to win Super Bowl MVP right now at plus 115 the last time I looked. So you got Sam Darnold on one side, right? On the other side, I just mentioned it, second-year quarterback, second youngest quarterback to ever make it to a Super Bowl, led the league in passing this year, second in MVP voting this season. The thing that sticks out to me in this specific question, this conversation about quarterbacks, who it would mean the most to, what sticks out to me, let me go through these comments really quick because I see a couple. Which Sam today? It's a very fair question. I think it is still fair to ask that question. Don't worry, Terry. He's ashamed of himself. But we'll be back later this week. Dylan will join me. We'll recap the Super Bowl. We'll recap the NFL player awards, that regular season player awards that were announced. We'll be back later this week. So don't worry, Terry. But Sam, 8 years in the league. Yeah, no, that's all fair nonetheless. I do think when you think about this conversation, who would this win mean more to? Let me silence those notifications there. Sorry about that. I look at Drake Maye. And the reason I look Drake Maye's way is because you look at the spread, right? The books tell us that the Seahawks are 5-point favorites in the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots, the 14-3 New England Patriots. Drake Maye was in the MVP conversation. You could probably put Sam Darnold in that conversation. Don't get me wrong. But Drake Maye was heavily in that conversation for MVP. So I would lean that the public probably thinks Drake Maye is a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe things have changed after this postseason. But I think going into the postseason, the consensus would be that Drake Maye, obviously playing better football with what he was doing with the Patriots, but just a better quarterback overall, being it's his second year. When I take all of that into account, I think about who has to lift their team up more. I do think Seattle's defense is better than New England. I think both are elite, but I do think Seattle's defense is better. It's more talented. I do see JSN out wide for Sam Darnold, arguably the number one receiver in the NFL. Now, to be fair to Sam Darnold, he had the number one receiver in the NFL last year with Justin Jefferson. He might not have been number one in receiving yards like JSN, but you catch my drift. Justin Jefferson obviously had a big season with Sam Darnold. I just think there's a few more triggers that can be pressed to take some pressure off of Sam Darnold, whereas I think Drake Maye is going to have to come out here and perform at a very high level today. Now, some of you may disagree with that. I mean, you look at the defensive matchup, maybe the Patriots can play it like they played the Broncos, which was very risk-averse type of football, not really putting the ball in Drake Maye's hands to make bad decisions, to turn the ball over, to cost them the game because they knew what quarterback they were going against on the other side in Denver with Jared Stidham, right? The backup quarterback that didn't really even take a snap this season. I think you got to play this one a little bit different with what the Seahawks have showed us of late. They can score, and they can score against great defenses. Great point, Terry. Great point, because that definitely slipped my mind. She says Drake, just because this would help stop the nobody can replace Brady talk. Yeah, you win the Super Bowl in your second year. Your number one options are, all due respect, washed Stephon Diggs, and all due respect again, washed Hunter Henry. Those are your number one options. You got a rookie running back in the backfield and Travion Henderson. You've got Ramondre Stevenson, who's been a quality back for quite a while. Yeah, I think this would be huge. Just, following in the footsteps of the GOAT. It's a big shadow that is casted out there in New England, in the Boston area, by Tom Brady. Simply the GOAT. It's a big, big shoes to fill. So I think that is a great point as well, Terry. I think all signs point to Drake Maye, as great as the story would be for Sam Darnold to win it. All due respect, it's a great, great bounce back story for him. One thing that stuck out to me, now, obviously Sam Darnold's got the oblique injury. I think he's been dealing with that since late in the regular season. Drake Maye popped up with a shoulder injury. It was over that 2-week span, right, in between the AFC Championship and the Super Bowl. But he did pop up on the injury report. That did happen. It's very fair. That's a very good point as well. Maybe that takes a few points away from Drake Maye, because you do have a very experienced head coach when it comes to being in the Super Bowl environment. He's played in a bunch of them, right? But no, I'm not going to take any credit from Drake Maye. Second-year quarterback, once again, washed Stephon Diggs, washed Hunter Henry, your number one options receiving. I mean, Keyshawn Boutte out there making plays. No disrespect, man. They're out there. They've gotten to the Super Bowl. Mac Hollins out there making catches in the snow. I'm going to give the kudos to Drake Maye. Josh McDaniels kind of revamped as an offensive coordinator as well under Mike Vrabel. What's good, HP? Tapped in. Cheers, brother. I'll take a sip for you. No birds in the bowl. Well, no eagles in the bowl. There are some birds in the bowl. Some hawks. Drake said feeling great. Yeah, of course. I mean, you're going to the Super Bowl. I'm sure they'll numb him up or whatever it is you do for a shoulder, and he'll get right. Sam has an oblique injury. Yeah, same thing. It's just interesting because we've seen Drake Maye down the stretch, especially in the postseason, lean on his legs a bit more. Maybe he leans on them even more in this case with the shoulder injury. I think with Seattle's pass rush, we could see him leaning on his legs a bit more, anyways. But it is something I was thinking about because to be transparent, I was looking at Drake Maye rushing attempts. I was looking at Drake Maye rushing yards. I think the rushing yards are around 35, anywhere from 35 rushing yards to 37. The over under, you could probably get 34 plus at a nice 34 and a half at a nice price. The carries were at 6.5, and that price was starting. The juice was starting to go down on the 6.5 as I kept looking at it. But then I do think about Seattle. I think about their ability to rush the quarterback with their front four. They don't have to bring linebackers a lot of time to get pressure, which means you could allow your linebackers to sit back and spy. Ernest Jones on that Seattle side of the defense, that motherfucker's been a monster this year. So it does cause me a little bit of drawback. But then I just think young quarterback, when you have the ability to use your legs, you get a little flustered, you get under pressure, you're going to lean on those legs a little bit more. That is just my true beliefs. Young quarterback in the NFL. Now, Drake Maye may show us some elite maturity at his age in this game, and I think it's going to take that in order to win this game against Seattle. I do think Drake Maye is going to have to play above his age, as he has, to be fair, as he has. HP likes the Seahawks by 21. You think the Seahawks are that much better, man? The thing about the Seahawks by 21, bro, and this is me getting into my conspiracy theories. The NFL, the NFL will do what it takes to not let that happen, if you catch my drift. So in order to beat the Patriots by 21 points in the biggest game of the year in the Super Bowl, you're going to have to beat the referees as well. Yeah, I don't think anybody's winning by 21, man. I don't see it. I don't think the NFL is going to allow it. But who knows? I do think the Seahawks are the better team. Sam Darnold 0-4 all time versus the Patriots. Give him Patriots 24-23. That is interesting. That's an interesting stat. What team was Sam Darnold playing for those 4 games, though? Was he playing on the Jets? Because y'all remember he started on the Jets. He started his career there. He was drafted there. They're in the same division as the Patriots. He's only played them 4 times. How many years was he in New York? New Jersey? Might want to look at Patriots D. I get you. I get you. Nobody's taking anything away from the Patriots defense at all. They've been great. This is not Jared Stidham. Not a Jared Stidham-led offense. This is not CJ Stroud. Now, Sam Darnold, if he wants to go out there and just give this game away, if that's what you're counting on, then so be it. That's fine and fair. CJ Stroud went out against the Patriots and just threw 4 passes like directly to the New England defensive backs. Like, this motherfucker looked like a deer in headlights. Then they played Jared Stidham. Once again, I'm just trying to balance everything out. It's not to say they don't deserve to be here. It's not to say they won't compete. The Seahawks are going to score some points today, in my opinion. HP, oh, you do believe it. Diggs or May first TD score. Just a little preview to the end of the show. I did lay Drake Maye anytime touchdown. Like I said, I do think he's going to have to use his legs. Why not get him in the end zone? Make it your time, my man. I'm guessing this is to the referee point, man. The NFL can't afford for this to be a shitty game, especially not blowout style. Patriots defense won't allow. Oh, I guess we shall see. We shall see. Drake Maye about to shit his pants. Interesting. That's something that I didn't even think about. I guess I just like in my head, I just had Drake Maye like at a basement level of like average today. I didn't consider him playing like shit, like a deer in headlights. I didn't consider that. It is very possible against Seattle. I do have. I'm interested in your thoughts here, HP. I do have a look. I have a good bit of faith in Drake Maye as a quarterback in the NFL. The only reason I view the Seahawks as a better team is because of the lack of prolific, like elite weapons. Like JSN is the number one receiver in the NFL this year. It's a little different. You have Cooper Kupp as a second or third option receiving wise on Seattle, a guy that's won a Super Bowl MVP. Did he won Super Bowl MVP, right? Triple Crown winner. You know what Cooper Kupp is. You got Kenneth Walker, who has just been a fucking monster, even with Charbonnet out. The only thing that puts the Seahawks over the Patriots for me is the skill position. Stephon Diggs has been good this year. He's been great at times. It's not the Stephon Diggs of the old. Hunter Henry's been consistent. But once again, Mac Hollins, quality players. You don't get to this level without quality players. They're just not the top level that I think the Seattle Seahawks have. Sam Darnold, 20 turnovers this season, most in the NFL this season. How many in the postseason? How many turnovers for Darnold in the postseason? That's all I ask. Regular season, sure, that's fine. Because Drake Maye's turned the ball over this postseason. I'm not sure if Sam Darnold has. Hunter's HP. You hating on the Patriots? I fucking hate the Patriots, dude. Like, let's get something clear here. There's been a lot of complaining about Bill Belichick like not getting into the Hall of Fame. It's because he's a fucking cheater. Like, that's very clear why he did not get into the Hall of Fame first ballot. My only complaint with it is how does Adam Vinatieri or Tom Brady, how do they make the Hall of Fame first ballot, but Bill Belichick doesn't? He gets penalized because the Patriots cheated. They all cheated. The whole team, the whole organization cheated. And they did it multiple times. I'm with you, HP. I fucking hate the Patriots. But I won't take credit away from them in this Super Bowl run. I still call Tom Brady the GOAT. He still had to play football. Like, don't get me wrong. They cheated. They had advantages, but he still had to play football. Tom Brady's still a GOAT in my book. Henderson, anytime TD. That's interesting. That's interesting because I do go back and forth. Ramondre Stevenson against this physical Seattle defense. But Ramondre Stevenson is prone to cough the ball up. Travion Henderson, rookie running back. So they'll use both. Pretty balanced out, I imagine. But I feel like Ramondre gets the lean here. Maybe Travion Henderson breaks off a big one, though. He does have that big play ability. Take the over 45.5 total points. Okay. That I can get down with. That is something I've been thinking about. The last couple hours, I've been thinking about that over. I've been thinking about the over. I've been thinking about Seattle team total, to be quite transparent there. May has wheels over 6.5 carries. Yeah, I discussed that earlier in the show. I'm with you. I've drawn back on it a little bit, but I still just think young quarterback, second-year quarterback, he does have wheels. He's able to use them. I think he leans on his legs a good bit tonight when they need him to. Converted 49 first downs with his legs. It's correct. Sammy D, the way the world is right now, this redhead getting a Super Bowl. I don't know, man. I don't like to get into the other stuff, but I feel like the Patriots have a lot of world powers on their side, to say the least, man. If there were any weather, maybe a chance, but it's going to be good weather. Seahawks by 21. Wow. You think the Seahawks are that much better? Yeah. They'll have to bring that type of mentality today for sure. Physicality. 0 turnover postseason for Sam Darnold. I thought so. I knew he didn't turn it over against the Rams. I was pretty sure he didn't turn it over against the Niners as well. I know May had 2 turnovers against Houston. Can't remember. I think he might have had 1 against Denver. Maybe it was somebody else on the team coughed it up. Sam Darnold doing it for the good guys out there. Yeah, I mean, I like Drake Maye, but he is a second-year quarterback. Let's slow it down a little bit. We don't need any more Patrick Mahomes coming through here. Fuck that. Yeah, give me Sammy D. Sammy D from Seattle. Will they give the Allen family another Super Bowl before they sell the team? It's a great point as well. Special teams will come up big. For who? For who? You got Rashid Shaheed on one end. Obviously a great return man, explosive plays galore with him. Marcus Jones on the other side. You got the 2 kickers, obviously. That'll, I'm sure, play a big part in this. The other thing I wanted to look at, the other thing that I've been seeing a lot about, JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, right? You got an all-pro on the other side, Christian Gonzalez. Absolutely. I don't think it's one of those things, right, where if you have great offense versus great defense, great offense, in my opinion, always wins. And that is how I view this situation, matchup, whatever you want to call it. I'll be interested to see if Christian Gonzalez follows him around everywhere, because obviously JSN lines up inside a lot. He can even line up in the backfield. That's what confuses defenses a good bit. We saw that against the Rams. He caught a touchdown out of the backfield in a running back type of formation. The way I look at JSN this year specifically, and maybe next year it changes, I don't know. He's a great player. He's a great player who's in a great scheme that perfectly fits him. And when you have those two things going into an equation, it's inevitable, in my opinion. I think JSN is going to get his today. I think the Patriots have to win with JSN getting his. They have to do enough to beat the Seahawks with JSN getting his 7-8 receptions, 90 to 100 receiving yards, and probably getting into the end zone, because they just have great design, great play design. It's just ridiculous what they do up there in Seattle. Now, if the Patriots, want to go the route of, trying to completely shut down JSN, I think that's going to backfire on them in return, because you want to, throw a bracket at them. You want to focus your defense around a receiver like JSN that lines up all over the field. You're going to put yourself in bad positions against the run. You're going to put yourself in bad positions against AJ Barner, against Cooper Kupp, against Rashid Shaheed down the field. So you just can't afford to do that at this level. I think you're going to have to live with JSN simply getting his. I do think JSN is inevitable in this one. The other thing that I'm looking at on the other side with New England, we talked about it a little bit earlier with Travion Henderson mentioned, Ramondre Stevenson, all of the above when it comes to them. Drake Maye, when it comes to running the football today, it's going to take the whole team, right, coming together in order to be able to run against the Seattle defense. Something that was crazy to me when I was looking up some information on this Seattle defense. They've gone 27 straight games So dating back to last season, towards the beginning of that season, they've gone 27 straight games without letting an opposing rusher go over 100 rushing yards. That's pretty impressive. Like we said, there's a duo in New England, so maybe that's an outlier. Maybe they can get 50 each, right? And it goes over 100, sure. Drake Maye included in that. It's going to take all of them for sure. But Seattle's not going to let one of those guys beat them, right? It's going to take a full backfield there for New England. I'm interested to see if they can get the run game going. Because if they can get the run game going, that changes the game a good bit. I expect them to not be able to run the football consistently. So if they can, it should allow this offense to maneuver and work pretty smoothly. Because once again, I do expect Drake Maye to be on his best game today. I do expect Drake Maye to show up. Just don't know if it's enough against this Seattle defense and what Seattle ultimately presents on the other side of the ball in offense and how consistent Seattle has been. But we'll see, man. We'll see. So let's get into predictions, get into best bets, and then I will get you guys out of here. Let you guys go enjoy your Super Bowl parties, your drinks, whatever you want to do. But yeah, let's get into predictions here. So if you haven't guessed by my tone or the things that I've been saying throughout the show, I'm going with Seattle to win the football game. I'm going with Seattle to win the football game. But I do think the game goes a little differently than maybe I thought it would be originally, or maybe most of the consensus out there, because I see a lot of money coming in on the under, right? I think this game is going over. I think we get points today. I think both of these quarterbacks come out and play some good football today. I think they both have played great football all year. I do think we get points from both sides today. I'm going with a 27-23 Seattle win over the New England Patriots. So you think about that puts you at what, the 50-point mark, 27-23. I do think this game goes over. I do think Seattle's able to hold on at the end. I do think it's going to be a close game. I don't think New England should be able to beat Seattle, but let's see how good Drake Maye is. That's my opinion on the situation. Let's see how good Drake Maye is. Because I do think Seattle's going to put some points up today. New England's defense is great. Don't get me wrong. I think Seattle's going to put some points up today. My offensive player of the game. Probably think Sam Darnold. Yeah, sure. I mean, but I talked a little bit about him earlier. It's JSN. He's inevitable. I did lay JSN touchdown. I also laid JSN receptions over. I went with the 7.5. I think you get to the biggest stage, you feed your workhorse. You feed your best player. That's what JSN is. I think Seattle will have a bunch of just pre-designed opportunities to get JSN the ball in space, allow him to do his work. And yeah, I think he does end up with a big game. Like I said earlier, I think he gets in the end zone. I think he gets his typical 6 to 8 catches and the typical 80 to 100 plus receiving yards, right? I think he shows up big. And on the defensive side of things, I'm going with obviously another Seattle player as I'm picking Seattle to win. I mentioned him earlier as well, Ernest Jones. He does it in full capacity for that defense. He does it in run stopping, 126 tackles on the season. He does it in the pass game, 5 interceptions on the season. He's played some outstanding football. He's been a complete game changer for them since he came over from the Rams. And I think he makes some big plays today, whether that's a turnover, whether that's a big stop in the backfield, or maybe it's just catching Drake Maye before he gets a really important first down as a QB spy type of situation. We'll see how it plays out, but I do like Ernest Jones to make a difference there. There's some guys on that defensive line definitely can make some noise too, right? DeMarcus Lawrence, Leonard Williams. Thought about my guy Milton Williams, former Bird, former Eagle. I am rooting for him today. I would love to see him get a sack today, which maybe I will. Maybe I'll go lay that just to root for it, root for my guy. Obviously won the Super Bowl last year. If they're able to win this game, that would be huge for him. But yeah, I'm going with the Seahawks 27-23. I think this game goes over. I do think the Patriots keep it close. I think the Patriots do cover the spread at 4.5 points. But man, think about this. Both of these teams at the start of the season, 60-1 odds to win the Super Bowl. 60-1 odds for both of these teams, and both of them are here now. And they're ready to match up. It's gonna be fun to watch. I'm trying to manifest for y'all. I want some points because these defenses are good. Don't get me wrong; these defenses are good. I just think big game, big performances from the QBs. Let's get after it. We do not want that. What was that? Was it San Fran and no, it wasn't Cincinnati and San Fran. Was it Cincinnati and the LA Rams? Was that boring ass Super Bowl? Maybe it was the Niners and the Chiefs. Maybe that's what it was because I don't know, the Rams and the Bengals. The Rams beat the Bengals for their Super Bowl, right? I want some fucking points. That's all. I'm going to leave it at that. I want some points today. Some other best bets that I did kind of sprinkle throughout the show. I'll just give them to you straight here. I do like Maye over 6.5 rush attempts. He's recorded 10 carries in 2 of the 3 playoff games. Now, important note there, some of those carries have been kneel down. So I don't expect a kneel down in this situation. I do expect him to just have to use his legs a little bit more today. I saw it earlier at minus 118. I do think it's moved to the minus 125, minus 126 range now, which means people are starting to catch on to it. I did lay the Drake Maye touchdown, anytime touchdown. I got it at plus 300. Once again, I just think young quarterback, going to have to use his legs. He has no problem doing so. Maybe he can make something special happen on the ground in the red zone. JSN, inevitable touchdown. I do think he scores today at minus 105. And then I'm in between. I'm in between the Seattle team total over. I saw my man Slim in the comments earlier give out the game total at 45.5. I'm going back and forth. If I lay the game total, it's going to be 44.5. I'm going to eat some juice there and take that even 45 rather than go over that. But I'm going back and forth between the Seattle team total and the game total. But might just cover my tail in case maybe MVP Drake Maye shows up and New England scores 30 plus and beats the Seahawks. Then I'm covered. But no, those are going to be the best bets for today. I'm going to go with some type of total. Enjoy the game, guys. There's so many props you can get today. They got all the novelty props that you can get into, the color of the Gatorade splash at the end, the coin toss at the beginning, so on and so forth. Get creative, have some fun, eat some food, drink some beer. Maybe you're drinking some tequila for the Bad Bunny halftime show. I don't know what type of person you are. I know I might have a shot of tequila. I'm drinking beer, but I might have a shot of tequila for the halftime show. But yeah, maybe on the next show we can recap the halftime show since everybody's been talking about it so much. Bad Bunny's about to kill it, just so y'all know. Cheers, everyone. Please enjoy the game. And if you care about me, manifest some points in this game. I do not want to sit here and watch a defensive slugfest. I do not want. I'm not in the mood for it. I'm not. I want points. Come on. Somebody give me points. But have a great day, everybody. Enjoy. And happy Super Bowl Sunday. The end of the football season is here. Cheers.